Welcome back. We are discussing this very eminent security threat, not only to the common public, to the police and law enforcement agencies, but also to religious clerics who have denounced this brand of Islam, where suicide bombing is considered part of religion. When we went for the break, we were talking about how security and how people generally take this upon themselves. When we talking to the general public, they'll come around and say that they are in fact Muslims. So how can we denounce them? What do you have to say about that?
I think for one thing, I tell you, people are pretty confused. They really need to be informed. And this, of course, is the task that has to be undertaken by the ulama, by the scholars. They need to tell the people, especially in the mosques, that what is happening is certainly not Islam. Even if Muslims are doing, if a Muslim goes about his task of tarnishing the image of Islam, well, he is no friend of Islam and he is not a really good Muslim. That is the message that should clearly get across to everybody. The mosques are a very important forum where this message can actually be effectively disseminated. The trouble is that the government doesn't have control over the mosques right at the moment.
Not only does the government not have control over the mosques, but how about the imams, the local ulamas, who may in fact be following that brand of religion?
That's true. That is what I am worried about. You see, if we were all together facing this challenge, as rightly pointed out by Badr Saab, that this is a war that we are, confronting. Let's not be any mistake about it. So the common man should actually know that we are in a very serious situation, and the enemy is right within us. We don't know whether he's living next door, and no matter whether he's a Muslim or a non-Muslim, that really hardly makes any difference. The individuals who are involved in these acts of terrorism are against all innocent people. They are against Pakistan, they are against Pakistanis, they are against Islam. Well, they may have their own emotions, they may have their own point of view, but of course you can come up and concoct any argument for any silly, stupid ideology. So that let's be absolutely clear about the fact that what is happening is condemnable from an Islamic point of view, and every Muslim, every Pakistani must come together, unite, and put up a strong front against them.
Okay, Badr Alam Sahib, you must have talked to a lot of ulamas or scholars in these little town mosques that are scattered all over the country. In fact, if I were to talk about percentage, what percentage of these Maulvis do you think are following this brand or another brand or yet another brand, and how do they impact the public that comes to them?
I think it's difficult to calculate in percentage terms or in terms of any statistics, in any concrete figures. But what I can tell you is that this sentiment or the support for such element is not just confined to small mosques in rural areas or in small towns or even in big cities. There is a wide acceptance in the society for such kinds of feelings and such kinds of religious ideas, and this is true for universities, this is true for colleges, this is true for people on the street, people running shops, people doing jobs. So I agree with Dr. Saab in the sense that the kind of information that people need to know exactly where these people come from is lacking. The whole media discourse and whole public discourse about the issue is so muddled and so confused. We do not know who comes from where and why. We do not know why people were fighting in Sawat and then suddenly they ceased fighting because there was a Nizam-e Adl regulation, and then they suddenly took up arms again. We do not know why army goes into doing operation and then suddenly stops doing operations. We do not know what is the true link between the jihadis and the sectarian organizations operating in Punjab and elsewhere in Pakistan with the Taliban. So all these are the links that need to be made known to the people, and shown to the people that these are the people who are basically against the fabric of the society, against the harmony and sectarian balance and religious balance in the society, and these are the very people who will ultimately take over and destroy everything that we have if they are not confronted properly.
Right, but we've also seen that there is an inherent contradiction in our own society. There's one group of people who are very emancipated, so to speak, and there's another group who are the so-called religious, and there's a divide between the religious and the modern, which is not how it is supposed to be in essence. So when that happens, doesn't the government or the authority need to take both into confidence? The civil society, which is considered itself to be the moderate group, and the other side, which call themselves religious and take pride in calling themselves religious, rightly so?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but here the role of the state and the role of the government is absolutely critical, and the kind of deficit trust that all of us have in our governments and all of us have in the institution and the apparatus of the state, I do not think that this is going to happen overnight. The state needs to regain its confidence, the state needs to rebuild its trust among people so that it can become a bridge between various sections of the society, between the haves and the have-nots, between the liberals and the not so liberal, between the between the religious people and between the secular people, between the Sindhis and the Punjabis, between the Punjabis and the Baloch. At every single level we need mediation by the state. We need the state to become the bridge that connects the city, society and country together, and sadly people are absolutely distrustful that this state and this government can do that.
Okay, we are going to talk about the distrust and the future course of action, but right after this short break, please do stay with us.